What's up, everybody? It's your favorite podcast, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trae, and as usual, hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. It's playoffs. It's NBA playoffs, yo. Are you happy? Because I'm ecstatic. Like, I'm hyped. I'm turned, dog. Like, it's about to be a miraculous. It's gonna be miraculous 2 months. We're here. So much to talk about. Playoffs is here. 2021. I need a moment. Give me a second.
Few moments later.
All right, I'm back. Got a little emotional. Anyways, so as y'all see on the screen, we got a lot of moving parts here. Let's start with the East, shall we? We have the 76ers versus the Wizards. Then we have the Brooklyn Nets versus the Celtics, the Bucks versus the Heat, and the Knicks versus the Hawks. And then on the West side, you see the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. Now the Suns versus my Lakers. Then you got the Nuggets versus the Blazers. And wrapping it up, the Clippers versus the Mavs. We have a few games that we could talk about. Like, really, I could talk about all of them, every single series, right? Like, why wouldn't I? Like, come on now, bro. 76ers versus Wizards? Can Russ and Beal do the impossible and upset the top team in the East? Who wouldn't want to see that? Then you got some drama. You remember when Joel Embiid went up to block Russ's shot. Russ loses control of the ball. Then Embiid falls on Russ. All right, Russ took a little exception to that. He felt, he threw a little more oomph onto that. He doesn't think that Joel Embiid was playing fair on that, right, Russ?
Fuck no.
You see? So there's a little animosity. So we can talk about that series, but realistically, I see that going maybe 5. Okay, like, I think they'll get you 1, but possibly 2. But realistically, I'm thinking 5. We could talk about the Celtics versus the Nets and how Jayson Tatum is going to basically go up against Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Yes, he has Kemba Walker there. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Yes, the Boston Celtics are a solid squad. They don't have Jaylen Brown. So this should go 5 games. I'm not going to say sweep. I think Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker can get you 1. I think so against this Nets team. But there's nothing to really talk about there. We actually could talk about the Knicks versus the Hawks. But this is the early season. Like, it's an early series, Yes, Julius Randle is going to be solid. Yes, I want to see if his regular season production carries over to the playoffs. And then we got Trae Young's first-time All-Star appearance. Nice storylines, right? All right, cool. A lot of stuff to talk about. Then we can even talk about the Clippers and Mavs. Last year's first-round matchup? Okay, I get you. I hear you. Like, that's cute. That's nice. Like, but we know Kawhi and PG are actually going to dog Luka and the Mavericks. So that series should go, I'm thinking 6. I'm thinking 6, realistically. I think KP is going to surprise some folk. And then also, Luka's going to get you a game, but that's going to go 6. And then the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. This is actually noteworthy, low-key, because the Jazz could potentially lose. They could. These will be close games. I do believe so. But the Grizzlies, they're young. The Jazz, they could expose the Jazz. I'm not going to lie to you. They could expose the Jazz on Rudy Gobert. But I got the Jazz winning this one. I think Spider's going to be too much. He's going to be able to overpower Dylan Brooks, Mike Conley. I'm not saying he's going to beat Ja Morant, but he has veteran experience over Ja right now in the playoffs. That means a lot, okay? So I think the veteran team might actually win this one out. 5 games, possibly 6. Again, the Grizzlies could surprise you and win this series. I just don't see it happening. So we went down to a lot of series, right? So I know you're wondering, okay, well, who am I going to talk about? I didn't talk about my Lakers, so that one's obvious. But I'm going to save that one for last. They say save the best for last. Who am I going to bring up first then? I'm going to start with Denver versus the Blazers. And the reason why. This, I always say, is like a mini rivalry for me. The reason why, they played in a playoff series years ago. And when I say years ago, like 2018, 2019. Went to a game 7. Very close. Very close. And guess who lost? The Nuggets. So, for me, I want to see this matchup. And a couple of noteworthy things. You know, we're going to get in talking about them. So, for the Blazers, let's start off with the Blazers. I want to see if Dame and CJ can dominate. Now, we know that Dame is going to get his points. I want to see if CJ can dominate as well. When I say dominate, I mean make it seem as though they cannot guard you at all. Like, there's no point in trying. If both of them are dominating the game, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The Nuggets will not be able to withstand that firepower, especially without Jamal Murray. Not at all. Not a chance. Sorry, that's not going to cut it. Now, Nurkic, you have to battle against Jokic. You cannot get pumped. I understand Jokic is an MVP candidate. You can't get pumped. In the games where you are actually a decent matchup against Nikola Jokic, the Blazers win. Like, they play pretty well. Like, they play pretty well. So that's what I need Nurkic to do. Just battle with him. Just battle. Don't let him punk you. I know that's a big boy, but you gotta strap him up. You gotta strap up and go to work. And then Cantor, I need you to bring that 11-11 double. I need you to bring that 11-11. Come on now. You have to bring that from the regular season to the postseason. That's gonna be critical because Nurkic is gonna need some help. Again, Jokic is a big boy. Now, to round it off, the guards, the forwards. I need y'all to play consistent. I need you guys to actually hoop really well. For example, Melo, Powell, Simons. I need y'all to bring in about 40 points a game. Not each, collectively. That shouldn't be that tough too, by the way. That shouldn't be that tough. Especially when you guys basically average that. If you guys are consistently and effectively doing this, the Blazers should have no problem. Because now, Dame and CJ don't have to work so hard. They don't. So, that's the championship, or that's at least the game plan that I would want for the Blazers to follow. Like, not a specific X and O's, but what I'd like to see in order for the Blazers to win. That's what I think they need. But on the Nuggets side, if Nikola Jokic does dominate, well, now that kind of makes the Blazers more of a reacting team. Now they kind of have to change their game plan. And that's tough. Like, putting the ball in Jokic's hands and making them comfortable, making the Nuggets comfortable, that's not the situation you want to be in. Jokic passes the ball phenomenally. He can score the ball effectively. He can rebound pretty well, and his defense is improving. So that's a tough assignment there. I'm not going to lie to you. He's an MVP candidate for a reason. Tough assignment, and he can dominate. He's dominated Nurkic before. Okay, so if you just throw Cantor out there, that's not going to get the job done either. So Nikola Jokic, the Joker, he can dominate. And if he does, the Nuggets are in prime position to win. They also need Michael Porter Jr. to be an effective and consistent second option. Can he? Yes. Has he? It's a little streaky. He's been a little streaky this year. When Jamal Murray went down, he did improve. I want to see if he can do that in the postseason. Last postseason, he was okay. This postseason, now you've had a little bit more experience. I need to see you get the job done. Point blank, period. That's it. No questions asked. If so, good. Because I personally want MPJ to be their second option, then Jamal Murray. Okay? Because it's harder to stop MPJ. And remember, the Nuggets also acquired Aaron Gordon. So, Aaron Gordon, what has he been doing since he's been acquired? Well, he's been averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.6 steals, 0.7 blocks. For me, that's not effective enough. You're an all-star caliber player. You need to be bringing in more production. I don't care about the assists as much because you have a Jamal Murray, you have a Nikola Jokic to do that job. So I need to see an uptick in the points production, in the rebounding, and in the defensive side. Those 3 areas is what I need to see you improve in. And on the postseason, this is your time to shine. You need to show the Denver Nuggets fan base, hey, they have a quality forward in you. Because this is key. Because if they can bring you, if you can show that you are quality enough to man down that defensive spot on the forwards, they don't have to put as much emphasis on Bol now. So when Bol does come along, you're still there to help out. And y'all can become a championship team. With him boostering, just imagine Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Bol, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray as a lineup. Ridiculous. So I need to see that from MPJ. And on the guard side, I need to make sure that you guys do not get dominated, hoodwinked, made fun of by CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. Please don't. Please don't, because these boys can and will do that to you at any given moment. They don't care. They don't care about your feelings at all. They're here to make you look foolish on every social media platform possible. You can't let that happen. You cannot. You have to slow them down. You're not going to stop them, I understand that. You have to slow them down. If you slow them down, now the Nuggets have a good chance of winning. A great chance of winning. So I've given you all the key pointers and what I think for both teams need in order to win their matchup. But hey, I want you to let me know what your thoughts are. Did I miss some points? Did you think the points were valid? Who do you guys have favoring in this matchup? Because for me, I have the Blazers. I have the Blazers, and it could go 7. This one could go 7. I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets win, but I got faith that that Dame's gonna pull it out. Because if not, I need Dame to leave Portland, or bring in a quality 2 guard, or a different 2 guard to do something different. Like this is like I need Dame to leave Portland, or change to occur, something to occur if the Portland Trailblazers lose. So maybe I'm going off bias, but at my heart a little bit. But I think the Trailblazers will pull this one out in 7. But hey, we're gonna go to the next series, because we got 2 more. All right, so we're back. And look, since it is playoffs like we've been talking about, you know I had to bring out the Solo Cup. Hey, now it's just a movie. You know, that's actually pretty good. Hold on. I low-key ain't eat this mode. It is what it is. Anyways, so my next series. Still got something on my mouth? We good. So, my next series. This one, I think is going to be... It's going to be a big one. For multiple reasons. The Bucks versus Giannis. I mean, I'm sorry. Although that is kind of a situation. The Bucks versus the Heat. And this is a big one because I think if Giannis gets bumped out the first round, bro, come on now, dude. You've had one of the best stretches in 3 years, and you don't make it past the second round. Like, I need Giannis to dominate. Essentially. That's the main thing for me. Because if he dominates for me, bro, do you know it's scary if he can add like skill to his arsenal. If he can just add just a shooting, like just a little bit more shooting, the Bucks easily win the championship. Easily. Then you got to factor in Drew Holiday. Oh my God. And Drew, I feel bad for Drew, bro, because Drew's going to get put on spot now. Okay, everyone's been talking about Drew and how, oh, Drew's the most underrated player in the game. Okay, well, now Drew's on a contender. Drew is on a contender now. So how is Drew going to perform? Is he going to live up to the expectations? Because if you're the most underrated player and you're called that by NBA players, I'm expecting you, if you're paired now with the MVP, to at least get out the first round. I understand the Heat are a tough team, but if you're that good, you need to get Giannis out the first round. You need to help him out and get him out the first round. We also can say the same thing for Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, you're in a perfect role now. You're that third option. So the way you've been playing in the regular season, everyone raves about you in the regular season. Oh yeah, Chris Middleton's an all-star. He does this, that, and the third. He was 50, 40, 90 almost, blah, 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 blah. That's cute. But I need to see more from you now. Like, you need to be effective. You need to be a better defender. I want to see everything that you've done in the regular season carry over to the playoffs. No skipping a beat whatsoever. You don't have an excuse now. You used to have that where you're the second option. Well, now you're the third. And the third doesn't have as much responsibility. So because of that, there's no excuses for Chris Middleton at all whatsoever. You need to perform. And if you don't, I like you as a player. But on this team, you might not be what's needed. Maybe a different role would be better suited for you. That could be the case. That could be the case. And finally, I need to see who's going to step up for the Bucks. Who's going to step up for the Bucks for me? Like Connaughton, DiVincenzo. Who's going to be that consistent fifth option? Because again, they have Drew Holiday, Giannis, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker. Well, who's that fifth option? Who's going to be that consistent fifth person? And hopefully it's a guard. So you're looking at the DiVincenzos or the Pat Connaughtons, okay? If they can't be that, though, then it's going to be tough. Because Miami has a lot of guards on their team who can shoot the ball pretty well. So if they can't have that fifth option stop the guards or slow them down or alter that, it's going to be a long series. It's going to be an extremely long series. Meanwhile, for the Heat, the Miami Heat actually have Jimmy Butler, who is, well, we know Jimmy. We love Jimmy. An all-star, right? All NBA caliber player. I want to see, though, if Jimmy from last year's bubble can come back and do the same thing in this year's playoffs. If Jimmy Butler can perform at that pace, at that level, well, the Bucks might be in some trouble. That will be hard to stop for Drew Holiday, because Chris Middleton is not going to stop that. We've already seen that's going to be a failed attempt. So if that happens, the Heat have something to work with. They also have Bam Adebayo, who needs to be aggressive. Like, Bam needs to be like Bam Bam off the Flintstones. Hella aggressive, causing havoc, not caring about how anybody else feels. Because if he's aggressive, now you're putting pressure on the Bucks front line. Their front court. They're big men. And that's what they need. And he's capable of doing that because he can shoot the ball a little bit. He can space the floor out. He can play make. So the Heat actually do have a quality big man. A little bit low on the depth chart in terms of how many, but quality big men. But Bam is consistently good on the defensive end. Doesn't really foul out. So I would expect this not to be an issue as much. But his aggressiveness, that needs to be consistent. And then the Heat also have these three players: Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, and Tyler Hero. And all three of those players can shoot the ball effectively. Goran Dragic, he play makes the best. Maybe doesn't shoot the ball the best, but he's probably their better player out of the three. He's the best overall scorer. Like I say, he play makes better defender, more knowledgeable of the game because he's the older veteran. So he's got to be consistent in what he usually does. And then for Duncan Robinson, well, he's one of the premier three-point shooters in today's game. Young guy. All he does is shoot threes. All my man does is shoot threes. So if that's all you're going to do, expand your game a little bit. Because guess what? Even Klay Thompson had to as well. So I want to see if he can expand his game just a little bit. But for right now, just knock down your shots, young fella. And then same with Tyler Hero. I need you to knock down your shots. If you're knocking down your shots, guess what? We got no problems. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The playmaking, too, that Tyler Hero brings, it's there. Like, he's a little Goran Dragic right now for me. So, and he's a spark plug as well. He had like a 30, 40-point game last year against the Celtics. He can do some things. Can they do that consistently, though? I need to see. And finally, I need the Heat to be able to slow down the Bucks. I think the Heat actually have a better half-court game than the Bucks do. Again, Giannis does not favor well in the half-court setting as opposed to the run-and-gun transition game. They're one of the faster-paced teams in the league. You slow the Bucks down, you have a great chance at winning your game, your series. So that's what the Heat need to do. Now, for me, I have the Bucks winning this matchup, personally. I think it's time for Giannis to win it. He has to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he doesn't, he might have to leave. He might have to leave, and sooner rather than later, so he can start acquiring some championships, bro, because it doesn't seem like you're going to get the job done with the team that you have. Maybe the Warriors can make a trade and send over James Wiseman, but this playoff matchup is going to be huge for the Bucks going forward. So again, maybe I'm picking on my heart a little bit. Kind of want Giannis to stay on the Bucks. So I got the Bucks going in 7. I got the Bucks winning this one in 7. But hey, let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. And you know what we about to be talking about on the next one. Right, so you know, I had to save the best for last. My Lakers versus the Suns. And you know, fun fact, I wanted us to play the Jazz because I thought we could have exposed them. Be an 8 seed to beat the number 1 seed. Be the first 8 seed to potentially win the championship. That's kind of tough. It's a nice little storyline. But we're the 7th seed playing the 2 seed Suns. What do the Suns need to do? What do the Suns need to do? Well, they have Devin Booker. And Devin Booker needs to dominate. Just point blank period. I need him to average 25 to 30 effectively. Now, maybe you don't think that's dominating because that's what the boy does. That's what the boy does. But that's what I'm asking him to do. Do what he does. Do what you do. Because if you can do that, that puts pressure now on the Lakers. Because we have a lot of people to throw at Devin Booker. Yes, we do. But if no one can stop him, we got to throw Braun on him. And if Braun has to guard Devin Booker, that's a problem. Because now that's putting a lot more pressure on Braun. Yes, we have Devin Schroeder to help out with the playmaking, but Braun's still injured. So that's a lot of energy that Braun's gonna have to use. So if Devin Booker can give me 25 to 30 efficiently, effectively, consistently, that's gonna be big for the Suns. And then I need CP3 to beat Dennis Schroeder. I'm talking about beat like how Penny got beat on Good Times. That type of beat. So if CP3 can win the battle that way, and remember, CP3 and Dennis Schroeder were on the same team at one point in time on OKC. So it's kind of like a big brother, little brother thing situation. If Big Brother can win that matchup and say, hey, you know, you still got a little bit to learn, young fella, that's helpful as well. Dennis Schroeder is a good player. I don't think he's a third option against the Nets, but he could be a third option against the Suns. So if you're beating Dennis Schroeder, okay, well, now we have a situation here. Like now the Suns are in good position. Factoring in that with DeAndre Ayton, who, well, their big man, I like him a lot personally. I think he's doing what he's asked to do. Like, you're not feeding him the ball. He's not the primary option. People are complaining sometimes, oh, he's not scoring enough. No. He's doing what he needs to do as a young player in the game. What I want to see DeAndre Ayton do is hang with the big boys. You're going up against Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis. And truth be told, the Suns were actually beating us in the season series. But those were games when we did not have Anthony Davis. When we played with Anthony Davis dropped 42 points. Meanwhile, DeAndre Ayton had a casual 6 points and 6 rebounds. Now, the points I'm not overly worried about. It's the rebounds and the impact that you did not have as much. That can't happen. So if DeAndre Ayton isn't having those type of games and having his traditional type of games, if you can have like a 13 and 12 type game for me, that's good enough. That's all we need you to do with like maybe 2 blocks. That'll be sufficient. Because these are big boys that you're going up against. They don't, and the Suns don't have but so much big men like that. So that's going to be huge. And finally, can the Suns play consistent? If they can play consistent like they've been doing, then it'll be easy. This will be a solid game series for the Suns to actually win. Because again, the Lakers are hobbled. We're hobbled right now. We're injured. You got to kick a man when he's down sometimes. And this is a great time to kick us when we're down. But on our side, we do have Anthony Davis, who again, like I said, dropped some points, like 42 points on y'all head. You know? So we have that. I need AD to dominate again. Continue that. And he should. He should. Because realistically, this might hurt his legacy. If you lose in the first round, you're defending champs, and you come back, people are going to say, oh, well, LeBron James was injured. It should have been Anthony Davis' team anyway. You're the better talent. And you lost to DeAndre Ayton at a young age. That should not be happening to you. That should not be happening to you. So I need you to dominate. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because we also have LeBron James, like I said, who is hobbled. So I need LeBron to actually really just gain his rest and shake off that rust. That's what Braun needs to do. Now, luckily for the Suns, they don't have a real forward stopper. Like, Mikal Bridges is cool. I like him. He's not going to stop Braun. This isn't going to be a Jeremy Grant situation for the Nuggets. He gonna try hard. You got Jay Crowder as well. That helps. But they don't have enough to stop a healthy Braun. So I just need Braun to rest up and shake off that rust, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? If they can do that, then that's great. And that's why I think Andre Drummond is going to be helpful as well. Because Andre Drummond is a big man, like, who can give you 11-11 with a steal or two and a block or two. That's all I need him to do. I don't need him to do much more than that else. Just get the putbacks, get the rebounds, battle against the big men, and let AD be the offensive force. We need that from him. And that's doable for Andre Drummond. If he does that, who on the Suns is gonna stop him and AD? You have Ayton out there on an island, basically. That's tough. Yeah, Jay Crowder can guard AD a little bit. In spurts. Not for a whole game. You don't want that to happen. So again, Drummond, just get your 11-11 with like 1 steal, 1 block, and that'll be sufficient. And finally, I need to know who on the Lakers is going to step up and be that consistent force. Is it going to be Schroeder? Is it going to be Harrell? Will it be Taylor Horton Tucker? Who knows? Who knows? It won't be Kuzma, but who knows? That's all I want to find out. Who is it going to be? If we get a consistent third scorer, then we're fine. We don't have to worry about it as much. Because again, I'm not worried about scoring from Drummond. He's doing the cleanup duties. So we got AD and Braun. And Braun's hobbled. Schroeder's coming off injury as well. Got a lot to look forward to, right? But I still have my Lakers winning in 7. It's okay. I understand. I feel bad for CP3. Maybe he comes over to the Lakers and we get rid of Dennis Schroeder. And then we can truly battle up against the Nets. But do y'all agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. I've heard Lakers in 5. I've heard Suns. Someone even told me the Suns were going to sweep us. I thought that was very disrespectful. Very trifling. But let me know in the comment section below. And I got one more subject to talk about. So stay tuned. All right, so this is the last segment. I just want to give a quick couple of shout outs to players that I'm looking forward to watching, and I'm expecting to seeing big things from them. So with that being said, Jayson Tatum is my first player. He just had a 50-piece in the play-in games. Now he's going up against the Brooklyn Nets big three, and it's him, Kemba, Marcus Smart. So basically, Jayson Tatum's got to carry the load primarily offensively. Got to chip in playmaking wise and defensively. It's a lot. I want to see if he can do it though. I think he can. He's a superstar potential talent, and this is now his time to showcase his skill set. I think every superstar should be able to get you one game, and I think he's going to be able to deliver that one game. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Again, the Nets will win, but I hope he'll make it competitive. Now, Paul George is another one. Playoff P, as a lot of folks call him. I want to see if Playoff P can make a comeback or if Playoff P just came back. Meaning, can he actually win over the fans who say, Paul George is trash? Or can he return to that form that he was in last playoffs? Now, just to be clear though, Paul George was still hooping. He just needs to win over the fans for those clutch moments. So can he do that this postseason? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. I think he'll get out the first round, so he'll have more time to showcase this. But I definitely want to focus on that on the first round for Paul George. Now, Julius Randle, MVP caliber player, most improved player more than likely going to be. I want to see if his playoff success can match his regular season success. Can that carry over? Because that's been carrying the Knicks. If so, they're fine. Julius is a quality talent. I never wanted him to leave my Lakers. Unfortunately, he did. And he's showcasing his talents on the Knicks. Sometimes it takes people a little bit of time. You got to give people time to get to where they need to be. And the Knicks just so happen to do that. So, I want to see if he can do that in this postseason. And he's actually going to be battling up against Trae Young, who I also want to see do well this postseason. This is Trae's first time in the postseason now. And I know some people who say, oh, well, I don't trust Trae as a leader or as a first option on a championship team. I want to see what he can do in the playoffs. That's going to be telling. It's not going to be the end-all, be-all, but it's a nice little starter. It's a nice little starter. Let's see what we're working with right now. I do expect Trae to at least get me about 25 and 8. That's what I'm expecting. But, you know, we're going to see what happens. He's young. It's early. Stuff happens. Now, to close it out, Ja Morant. The man just beat Steph Curry to get here. I don't think he outperformed him per se. He had a lot more help, just between me and you. But he definitely played up to par. No one, I wouldn't say anyone outperformed anyone. They both played phenomenal. Can Ja do the same thing in the playoffs? That was just one game. That was just one game, ladies and gentlemen. This is potentially 7. If he can do that in 7 games, we might be looking at someone special. So I just want to see, what are we looking at in Ja? He's already in the playoffs. So that's good. We got a solid baseline. He might be in the playoffs for a long time to come. But what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with someone special here? Like, maybe they upset the Jazz. If Ja upsets the Jazz, now you might start looking at him on the same level as Donovan Mitchell. Meaning Ja goes up, Donovan comes down a little bit. Who knows? But that's what I'm looking forward to see. Just who we got in Ja Morant. But hey, that's all the time I have for you all, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all had a wonderful one. Let me know in the comment section below too if you guys are looking at some other players. I didn't want to give off the big names like KD, James Harden, Braun, AD. Those are too obvious, right? Like, I just wanted to keep it with the not I won't say lower tiers, but the young stars. I was focusing more so on the young stars. And I threw Paul George in. He's still a little bit young. But hey, let me know in the comment section below if you got anybody else. And again, please subscribe to the channel, follow it, comment, like, follow the IG account, tell anybody, and thank you for the support. But Take care. Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me.
Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, kid.